Hey all, this is Colton here to give you a quick message before the episode that we had some problems with our microphones this week, so our audio quality is not up to our typical standard. But we're posting the episode anyway, so let's go.
Welcome to the Odd Drunk Podcast. It is now time for spooks and booze, fears and beers, the spookiest time of the year. So grab your drinks, your tricks and treats, and prepare yourself for Spooktober.
So welcome back to the Odd Drunk Podcast, everybody.
Yeah.
This week, or tonight, we are going to review Halloween Kills. We both recently watched it.
Yeah, we watched it this week.
At a bit of a party, so I couldn't understand much of it. I did end up watching some more again on after I got home from work a couple days later.
Nice.
Just so I could understand it more. But that was a lot of fun. I had fun with that.
It was a fun night. Pretty good movie. Not the best in the series,
we'll get into that.
Yeah.
We'll get into that. There's things I really like about it. There's things I don't really like about it.
Yeah.
But luckily, the things I really like about it overshadow the things I don't like.
Yeah.
Because it's still... We'll get to that.
Overall better than
We're not drinking anything special tonight, by the way.
No.
One, we need to save money. Two, I didn't feel like going to get more beer when I already have beer.
Yeah, and three, I had like 5 beers earlier tonight. And
There you go. There you have
I
it.
don't want to drink too much.
Yeah.
Now.
But definitely next week, for the last week of Spooktober, we'll have something special. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't even worry
What
about
are
it.
you drinking tonight, though? Just so we know.
I am drinking some classic Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Oh,
And I also have,
I love Pabst Blue Ribbon.
I got it for the movie, for the party. I got Ecliptic Brewing's Cloud Core Hazy Pale Ale. Has nothing to do with anything.
That's a good beer.
I have a couple of them left. I was like, I might as well bring one to the show tonight.
I had one of those when we watched that. That was pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Yeah. I'm drinking a good old Modus Mandarina from Scott Brewing. Pretty good beer.
Yeah, nice reoccurring beer on the show.
Yeah.
It's probably my favorite one from Scott.
We haven't
Aside from Oktoberfest.
I don't think we've actually had a lot of Scott Brewing on the show, but we've had
Not recently.
We have it every once.
In the early days of the show, we did for sure.
So that's what I'm drinking tonight.
But I remember we made a conscious decision to not just have Scott.
Yeah, because we would just have Scott Brewing. I also
and then
have
we ended
as a backup if I end up wanting another beer.
You have Ecliptic as well.
Starburst IPA from Ecliptic Brewing, a leftover from last week.
Nice.
But that's only if I decide I want a second beer tonight, which I might not. We'll see.
Yeah. Ecliptic Brewing is a reoccurring beer.
Yeah, we like Ecliptic. They make some pretty solid beers.
And so is
Ecliptic,
Rogue, yeah.
Boulevard, we've had a few of theirs.
Yeah. I've seen some new ones recently, but I've been saving it for the right kind of episode. But
Nice.
I definitely enjoy Boulevard.
Yeah.
But anyways,
This is going to be a pretty relaxed episode.
so
we're just talking
this
about
episode,
movies
we're
and
not
stuff.
just gonna, so we're gonna do the review of Halloween Kills, give you our thoughts. Obviously our opinions could change in the future, so if we end up going back on what we said in this episode, it doesn't matter. So it's a movie.
Yeah.
And
This is just our first thoughts on it.
you know, I might end up liking it more later on, well, let's just jump into it. So Halloween Kills.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the bad things first. I think that's good to get out of the way, because then we can end on the good. Because it always gives me
It's a good idea.
it's a weird vibe when you end on the bad note. That's no fun. So, well, before we do that, here's a brief synopsis. So it takes place the same night as the last Halloween movie, 2018. It's right after Jamie Lee Curtis, Laurie Strode, and her.
It does make me think that the next Halloween movie should take place during the COVID-19 pandemic.
I've actually heard.
Because this is pre-pandemic. This takes place.
I actually have heard that the next Halloween movie, Halloween Ends, is gonna do a time jump.
Yeah.
And they might cover, or at least touch on the pandemic.
That'd be
and how maybe he'll have less people to kill. There's like he goes out Halloween 2020 and there's like no one out on the streets.
He's all confused.
Yeah,
where the fuck is everyone?
It's like, why isn't it celebrating Halloween? Just doesn't know. But he always wears a mask, so he's safe.
Yeah.
So,
be like Michael.
Exactly.
Wear a mask.
The mask wearing part.
Don't be like him in the other ways, though.
Because
just wear masks.
Hate to tell everybody, but COVID is not gone, and it's not going away anytime soon.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't want to get political, but get a vaccine. Right?
This virus is going to be with us for a long time.
Okay. Anyways, let's not get into that. But anyways, Halloween Kills. It takes place same night as the last movie. A lot like how Halloween 2 did.
Yeah.
And it has some aspects of that movie as well. Takes place same night after they set the fire and he was trapped in the house. Well, it didn't go the way they thought it would. You know, because you would think trapping a man in a burning house with natural gas would do him in.
You might think that.
But
you might not be wrong for thinking that.
You might not be, but with Michael Myers, you would be wrong.
I'll tell you what.
He's fine.
I'll tell you what, I probably would not have survived that house.
Right? But yeah, in the previous movies, he's been shot like in the shoulder or like in the cheek. Mm-hmm. Got his fingers shot off. He's been stabbed, hit with a truck. And then he got trapped in a burning house.
Yeah.
And he's fine. Basically. And he gets out, he kills a bunch of fire. And there's a lot of kills in this movie. The title is accurate. It's about the kills. That's honestly the best parts of it.
Yeah.
That sounds bad.
Kills a lot of people. I don't remember how many. I started keeping track while we were watching it.
I'll have to wait till Dead Meat comes out with his kill count.
Yeah.
But I counted at least 20.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of there's some off-screen kills. But anyways, it's a great Michael Myers movie, in my opinion. That character, him. He really gets to show his stuff. He gets to be brutal. It's one of the scariest brutal versions we've seen of him. Maybe not the most brutal version. We'll get to that movie.
This source is saying it's 34 kills, and it's the most in any Halloween movie.
No, it definitely is.
Yeah.
Even more than the Rob Zombie one, the theatrical version, at least.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's not 34 on-screen kills though. There is because later on they're like, oh, he killed 11 first responders, the firefighters, and we only see him kill like 5 or 6. You know,
less than that. I think it's only like 3 or 4 that we actually see him kill.
But we assume the rest of them are gonna die. You know.
Yeah.
But getting back to the bad, so it tries to do some social commentary, and you know, David Gordon Green and funny enough, Danny McBride, who also who co-wrote this. I
love Danny McBride.
I see what they were trying to do, but I don't think it was executed well. Basically, it's a mob movie.
Yeah, this is
and not mobsters. It's about angry, like pitchfork in hand mob.
Yeah.
And it tackles like hysteria and.
I see what they were trying to do. I don't think it was successful.
No, and it's not because of. I don't even think the story beats are bad, but just some of the portrayals and actors, the writing, their characters are just dumb and like painfully dumb. Yeah, I realize people can be and are dumb in the real world. But these people, so here's the controversial scene that a lot of the Halloween fans are talking about right now.
Yeah.
Are mixed on, at least. The hospital scene where they're chasing down one of the escaped mental patients because they think it might be Michael Myers.
Yeah, so the 2018 movie starts with Michael escapes from a mental hospital. But he's not the only one who gets out. There are some other patients who escape as well.
Yeah.
And in this movie, they show one of the patients, they show his face on the news.
Yeah. And
he wanders into the hospital.
Yeah. He's just kind of wandering around town. There's a part where he crashes the car and they think it's Michael. And what's his name? Has the baseball bat. And he's, he's one of the ones really getting people riled up, I guess. But he was the kid in Halloween 78.
Yeah.
Which I'll get to that. That's something I appreciate about this movie, that they bring people back. But even if they end up just being killed.
Yeah.
But that's cool too.
They recognize that the original one happened.
No, exactly. But yeah, they're chasing down this escaped mental patient who they think might be Michael Myers because they're all pissed off and afraid. It's mass hysteria. Let's go get him. And it's obviously not Michael Myers. Like, for one, Michael Myers wouldn't be running away from people.
Mm-hmm.
Two, that man is much shorter and much rounder than Michael. And I say that in no mean way, but
yeah,
Michael's a fairly tall, lean guy. And he always wears a mask.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he wouldn't not be wearing a mask. His mask.
One time in the movie, he doesn't wear a mask.
And it's
because it was taken from him.
Yeah, and then the previous movie.
They don't really. They only show very brief glimpses.
It's blurred out a lot, or they'll show it just for a second.
Yeah.
Because really, there's nothing interesting about his face. He's just an old guy.
He's an old guy.
He does have injuries this time, though. He's bloodied.
I didn't notice that.
So he is a little freakier looking without the mask. But like in the last one, and the original one, when she took his mask off, he's just a guy. It's not like Jason, when you take his mask off, he's disfigured like mongoloid or zombie or like whatever.
Yeah, no, he's just a guy.
But not really.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a mixed thing. And just the dialogue seems hokey a lot of the times. Mm-hmm. When I get they're mad, but when they keep on saying evil dies tonight, and they're just being extremely irrational, and not only in what they say, but in what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's the scene, Michael's killing people in the car, and this one guy's girlfriend's like, oh, I know how to use a gun. She runs off, lets her boyfriend get murdered, and the other lady. Then she comes back, misses all the shots. Michael's just sitting there. He kicks the door open. She shoots herself in the face.
Oh,
which has got to be one of the funniest kills in that franchise.
That was ridiculous.
She
had a fucking Desert Eagle.
And another thing, spoiler alert, by the way. We'll put it in the description. So read the description because I forgot to mention it at the beginning of this episode. But the final scene, which has cool stuff, but so when Karen stabs him in the back with the pitchfork, takes his mask off, sets the trap for the mob to attack him.
Yeah.
And they beat him, they beat him up, they shoot him even a few times, and then she stabs him in the neck, but no one, the scene that's really dumb is the old police officer that, has this monologue, and then he goes to shoot Michael in the head. No, it's no, just shoot the guy in the head.
Yeah.
He's killed dozens of people.
This is not the time to be dramatic.
And while I don't support vigilante justice, if you're going to do it, go for it. Don't hesitate with Michael, okay? Also, what I thought was unrealistic, there was barely any police presence in this movie.
No.
There was the flashback stuff.
There's a flashback, but the rest of it is
just... It was focused on the mob.
There's only a couple police officers show up in the rest of it. There's the sheriff and the marshal who's there in the hospital. But that's it.
No, and I figure at this point, like, the FBI would be showing up.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
But, and...
They keep making mistakes like, oh, this is just a small town. I'm like...
But this is still one of the best Halloween movies.
It's pretty good.
I
think there's the scene with the mental patients and the mob.
That could have been left out.
That didn't need to be
changed.
there.
It did. And yeah, he ends up jumping off the building and killing himself. It's a gruesome death. It's just so unnecessary. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like most of the fun in the movie is like there's some cool kills, but that part of the movie is not fun.
Well, I think I
didn't like that part.
Here's what I think the main problem in the movie is, and maybe it will seem better, like a better movie when the next one comes out. But this one didn't really have much of a story. Because, well, I mean, it does, but Michael, we find out, really, he's not tracking Lori down. He just kills people randomly, basically, and he goes to his house.
It seems like it's just cleaning up.
What I think, this movie, they were like, well, we got to have Michael kill a lot of people. Because we want to beat the record. We want him to be the king of slashers again. And they do that well. I love the kills. It's great.
Yeah.
Not all of them are, like, unique, but, like, there's a few that are actually quite shocking. Like, I'm not too squeamish when it comes to gore or anything. And what I appreciate, it's not, like, over-the-top unrealistic gore, which some of these movies do. It's fairly realistic. It's not over the top, but I think that's what makes it seem even more visceral, because it looks like something that could happen to somebody.
It's not like Monty Python gore.
No, or
Quentin Tarantino gore.
Like the scene where so the dad, what's her name, Allison, and her boyfriend, I forget his name. He was inconsequential to this movie, basically. Although I like that actor. He's in the latest season of You, which I've actually watched.
What's that?
It's the show. Basically, it's about this like Ted Bundy type guy. He's like a serial killer, like psychopath, but he like tries. Yeah, it's a good show. It's a lot to explain though. But basically, he tries to make his way and like fit into a town and like get into people's business. And he's always like psychoanalyzing in his head.
Okay.
He ends up getting married, and this girl is also a killer. But they end up competing against each other and, coming at each other. But it's a good show. I recommend it. But in this movie, that actor that I'm talking about, and I'm not talking about the main actor from that show, I'm talking about a side character. I forget his name. I'm not going to look it up. I'm sorry. He was inconsequential in the end. His dad goes in, who's one of the kids from the 70s movie. He goes in. He's like, I'm gonna kill Michael. Do it. He gets killed immediately.
The dad is
it doesn't show it.
The kid from the 70s movie that like ducks down the sidewalk and Michael just ignores him.
Yeah. They do the flashback scenes and I like them. I think the start of the movie is cool with the flashback, but I think it would have been better.
Yeah.
You show him escape the fire, kill the firefighters. Title card. Then you do the flashback.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it started a bit too slow. It ramped up quick, but what I think the problem was is they were like, let's get a lot of kills. We got good kills planned. We got great, choreography and scenes with him killing people. And like when he kills that old couple, smashes the guy into the wall, and like he breaks the fluorescent light, stabs a lady in the neck, like all casually.
Dylan Arnold,
yeah,
is the guy's name.
Yeah, he's good. He's a capable actor. But and then when he stabs the guy's already dead, but he stabs him with multiple knives, and he's like testing him out or something in front of his dying wife. It's messed up stuff. But as a slasher fan, I love the movie.
Yeah.
As a slasher movie, it's almost perfect. If they left out the hospital stuff, but then they wouldn't have really a movie.
Yeah.
At that point. So I hope Halloween Ends finally answers this question: why is Michael so invincible? Why? Because in the end of the movie, they stab him, they shoot him, they beat him.
See,
He's on the ground.
the 2018 Halloween movie,
They still left it a mystery.
They left it a mystery. They kept it pretty ambiguous because he seemed tough but not invincible.
Well, yeah, because in that movie, there's things that he kind of shrugs off that, a normal person would be screaming in pain.
It makes you go, okay, he's
tough.
Tough as
But in this one, he literally is, he should be dead multiple times.
He straight up just like seems...
And I do like the speech, and there's weird editing in this part. Yeah. Maybe it's a dream, I don't know. But when Laurie's like, oh, you can't kill him with brute force, it's because he's like fear or whatever. Mm-hmm. And maybe he'll come back next Halloween, maybe he'll come back next week or what, but he gets up, and I love the scene where he puts on the mask slowly in front of the mob, and they're all just kind of standing there waiting.
Yeah.
And here's the last problem. He takes out a whole firefighter first response squad, all armed with fire axes.
Yeah, fire axes, crowbars.
That one of them has pry bar thing or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
and he uses it against them.
And one of them has a big ass buzzsaw.
So he takes them all out, but then this mob of random citizens kind of wipes the floor of them at first, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they get shots on him. I think that's what really did it. But he takes them all out, and also in the flashback where he gets arrested, I get that the cops all had guns, but I feel like he would have put up a fight. And I feel like he would have been killed.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have just taken him in. That's where it kind of loses it for me. That's hard. I mean, they just got to go with it now.
Yeah.
Go with the corniness, I think. Embrace it.
And you definitely embrace it. I think the movie would have been worse for not embracing the corniness, but
But here's the thing, though.
There's an aspect.
Halloween 2018 thematically is more serious, but it has way more jokes in it, or at least good jokes.
Yeah.
This one, cringy. The dialogue was cringe, but as
the couple that's living at Michael's house.
That was funny. Oh, gay couple.
I
love them.
They do make some corny jokes. Or there's a point that the guy keeps going like, do you know whose house this is?
They're the best characters in that movie.
Yeah.
And they get killed, but I love them. Yeah, they're living in Michael's old house.
Mm-hmm.
And they die gruesome deaths, but before they die, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's funny, I saw some comments, and this one guy posted, he was like, if Michael would have broke into a country gay couple's house, he would have been fucked. No, the one guy's stoned and everything, and he grabs a tiny little knife, and he thinks
a little paring knife.
But I kind of skipped over it, but I think there's a lot of kills that could be considered the most brutal or the best, but I think the one where he's smashing her boyfriend's head into the stairway, the railing.
Yeah.
And then he lets her go because she's like, come get me, because she's on the ground. She can't get up. Her leg's broken or something.
Yeah.
But then he just, as he's walking down the stairs, he looks over and then he just twists his head, just snaps his neck. That's just mess. It's when he's casual about it. I think those are the coolest ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then in the end, he kills Karen. He gets up, he kills the whole mob, seemingly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of them probably get away, but a lot of them don't. And then he gets up, and then he gets all the way back to his house and kills Karen. And it's bad editing in that part.
Yeah.
But maybe it's supposed to be like a dream sequence. But the way I see this movie, maybe Halloween Ends will come out and we'll even appreciate it more.
Maybe.
Because it's kind of like they had to make a sequel, but they didn't want to finish the story. So they were just left with, okay, let's just give the Michael Myers fans a good Michael Myers movie. And they did that. It's a great... Michael Myers, this is one of his best depictions.
I do like...
Maybe not as good as the last one.
Talk about the scene where he kicks the car door into the woman and she shoots herself on accident.
Yeah.
So that death was kind of stupid, but the rest of that scene was pretty good, where he's on top of the car.
And that harkens
pulling
back to
them
the
out
original.
and stuff. That was really good.
Yeah, and he kills the old nurse lady. He kills all the characters they bring back.
Yeah, every single one of them.
Yeah. It's like we bring back these characters for the fans, for fan service, just to kill them. But honestly, Halloween fans are into that. So
Yeah, why not?
it's not insulting, and because none of them are good characters anyways.
Yeah, not really.
Laurie's the best character. But I love the realization she had. Hawkins tells her that he's not going for you, Laurie. It's not about you.
Yeah.
And I like that because, and we'll get to it real quick, but in other movies it's because, she's his sister and he's got to kill her because this curse or whatever.
And this one's just like, no, he's just a killer.
And some people prefer this family thing, but that wasn't John Carpenter's original vision for Michael. He's just supposed to be this random just force of evil that shows up to a small town.
Yeah.
He's not anything specific. He's not related to anyone. He could be anybody. That's the point of it.
Yeah.
That's the point of Michael Myers. But all in all, I mean, Halloween Kills, if you compare it to the Halloween franchise or just slasher movies, it's still one of the better ones. It's
pretty good.
It honestly is. There's a lot of bad slasher movies. There's a lot of bad Halloween movies. We're going to get to it. Even though I still enjoy a lot of them. But, yeah.
Also, we mentioned this before we started recording. I really like the burnt mask in this.
Oh, yeah. I
think it's really cool looking.
I dig his whole look. And you do see he has bandages on his hands. Like, it's just weird because, like, he doesn't regenerate like Wolverine or something.
Yeah.
He gets hurt, but he just pushes through it.
Yeah, he just puts a fucking bandage on it and keeps going.
Yeah, he's just like Solid Snake when you in the game and the recent one, Phantom Pain, where you just like inject the stim pack or whatever, or like you heal your wound real quick.
Or in the Far Cry game.
Cauterize. Far Cry.
Yeah. Just take a cigar and cauterize the wound real quick. And
he's just doing maybe he's the Far Cry protagonist. That's why.
He was playing as a Far Cry protagonist.
Or maybe he's a Resident Evil protagonist where they just poured a goop on their hand.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Yeah.
And I'd love to do an episode on the recent Resident Evil.
Oh, that would be cool.
It would. It would be a good time for that. But
that is a series that kind of dropped the ball for a bit and then recently has picked it up.
It's made a great resurgence.
Full force.
Oh, yeah.
It's gone.
It's gone the first person route, but it works. It just works.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, Halloween Kills.
I'd say
it's fun.
As far as the Odd Drunk podcast rating, we'd rate it as we'd recommend it.
No, we would definitely recommend it.
Go give it a watch. It's pretty good.
Especially if you're a Halloween fan, if you're a horror movie fan, especially a slasher fan.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not a slasher fan, if you don't like gore, I don't recommend it because the rest of it is not the worst I've seen in a horror movie. Definitely not.
The only caveat I would give if you're interested in watching it is the scene with the mental patient in the hospital being chased by the mob.
Really caught me off guard.
It's a disturbing scene. So if that type of stuff really bothers you, because it's not
suicide.
It's not the type of stuff you would typically see in your traditional slasher movie.
No.
So if that type of stuff disturbs you, maybe don't watch it. But if that doesn't bother you that much, then
you're making me think.
Watch the movie.
There is a thing I appreciate about that scene, is that normal people can do horrible things just out of fear. So I see what it was doing. It was just not executed.
I saw what they were trying to do with the mob rule plot of this, and I appreciated that they tried to do that, but I don't think they pulled it off. Yeah.
And if you're gonna do it, you gotta have convincing characters.
If that type of scene you think would bother you, maybe skip this movie. But if that doesn't bother you, definitely watch it. It's a good movie.
Yeah. Yeah, because usually in your Michael Myers or Jason movies, you don't get depictions of suicide. You get killings.
Yeah.
But that is a whole entire different thing there.
Yeah, sometimes people can be the monsters.
Exactly. And that's a good lesson, but it just wasn't done good. Well.
No, yeah.
But we like it. We recommend it. Anyways, I made us a tier list here to rank the entire Halloween franchise. There's 11 movies now.
Nice. Yeah.
And also, you Jason fans, he's got 11 movies, and Michael has more kills now. I love Jason, but just saying.
Yeah, just.
There's a lawsuit between the producer and the writer of that film, of the Friday. It's
Really?
weird. Basically,
Oh yeah, it's why the game
writer
stopped getting.
it's
updates.
really weird. Sean S. Cunningham, he was one of the writers. He has the rights to Friday the 13th, but I forget his name. This other guy, this Italian guy, producer, he has the rights to Jason.
Yeah, that's a
So
weird situation.
if they make a Friday the 13th movie, it might not be about Jason.
Yeah.
And if they
Unless they can reconcile.
Unless they can reconcile, which hopefully they will. And if they made a Jason movie, it would have to be just Jason outside of. It would have to be like a whole new thing just with that character. It's weird where it is right now.
Yeah.
But anyway,
It sounds like it wouldn't work, but people are creative.
But I think if they did bring back Friday the 13th, go all out. Do zombie Jason. You got to distinguish it.
Yeah.
Go crazy
Be
with
cheesy with it. Just don't hold back.
Don't explain it again. Just bring back Jason.
Yeah, my favorite, my favorite Friday the 13th movies are after the first few when they've already established Jason.
Yeah, maybe we could do a ranking for that down the road. But anyways, so I got this Halloween tier list. The first movie on here, we're gonna go in the order that they are on this list.
Okay.
Which is kind of random, just how I put it.
Yeah.
Uploaded these files. I was going to use one that was already made, but it didn't have Halloween kills, and it didn't let me add in a new image, so I had to make a whole new one.
Yeah.
Anyways, the first one we got is Halloween H2O.
Oh.
So this one is kind of like Halloween 2018, but instead of 40 years later, it's 20 years later in the 90s. Everyone's got frosted tips. Jamie Lee Curtis is in it again.
Yeah.
And she's fine in it, but the movie's not good.
No, this one's got LL Cool J in it.
Yeah, LL Cool J's in this one. Yes. Yeah.
There's a theme of rappers.
The 90s and the
Being in the movies in the
it's really
90s.
interesting. But it does some cool things. Like, well, for one, it continues the brother-sister arc.
Yeah.
So he's tracking her down. She's moved to California because probably for budget they just filmed in California to be cheaper.
Well, they filmed the original California,
But they
this one
made
just-
it look like it wasn't.
This one they just
It
didn't
was supposed to be
bother.
Illinois.
They just didn't bother lying to us about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, you could see a palm tree in the original,
it.
and they had to put fake leaves. But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
It's
I don't love this one.
it's fine, but it's got a lot of that '90s cheese, but not the good kind. Not the.
I mean, the fact
meta-ness.
that they just called it Halloween H2O
2O.
20 years later.
Yeah.
That is a bad title.
Yeah, imagine if they called Halloween H40 for the 2018 one.
Yeah.
I see why they just called it Halloween now, because if they tried to give it a subtitle, it just ended up being dumb.
On the bright side, though, this movie does have Joseph Gordon-Levitt in it.
He gets killed.
Yeah.
He gets a
So,
ice skate to the face.
yeah, quick bonus point there, but not enough of a bonus point to really give it a high ranking.
Also, this movie, they think they kill Michael in the end again, and they cut his head off, but then it's revealed in the next one that he switched, and it was a different guy.
Oh,
Jamie Lee Curtis does kick
that's
him.
a terrible plot twist.
Jamie Lee Curtis kicks him in the balls in this one.
Oh, that's
She
pretty
does
cool.
kick him in the balls, and it does do a number on him.
Yeah.
I mean, as a man,
So I have my thoughts on this one.
I haven't seen it in so long.
It's
though.
been a while since I've seen it.
It's been a long time because I don't like it.
I don't know what you think.
His mask is.
I think it's not good, but it's not like the worst crime to the series. I'd give it a solid C tier.
Well, let me show you the mask real quick. What you think of it?
Yeah, it's... From what I remember, it wasn't a good mask.
It's not the worst one, but it's not good either.
Yeah.
And there's a CGI version they do in the film.
Oh,
There's like a lot of different versions of the mask.
CGI mask.
And there's even a couple frames in the movie where it's like pink with blonde hair. Because they forgot to paint it the right color for a
Really?
shot. Or I don't know.
What?
Um,
That's just laziness on the production part.
but that's what it's supposed to look like usually.
It's not the worst.
The
but
eyes are too big.
It does
or something.
legitimately look like a Ruby's costume.
It looks like it doesn't have that kind of mysterious. Well, it's a William Shatner mask essentially.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It's bad.
No, yeah.
It's almost too blank, and it doesn't have like the definition. But there's other masks that try to do too much, and but yeah, I would put H2O. Honestly, yeah, I'm gonna put it at C tier for now. I agree with you. It might even go up higher because there's ones that are much worse.
It might get bumped up based on the other ones, but right now it's kind of a C tier.
So now we have and by the way, instead of S tier, we have Busta Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes tier.
For Busta Rhymes tier.
We'll get there, yeah.
And then for F tier, I put Y.
Yeah.
And there's basically one movie,
Y.
And it may not be the movie you think it is because, anyways.
Yeah.
So now we got the original Halloween 1978. Busta Rhymes. S tier.
That's a Busta Rhymes tier. That's just.
And not okay.
You can't beat it.
For one, not just because it's the first.
No, but it was the closest to John Carpenter's vision. I think it's it's the movie. Was. Yeah, like it was the first.
It was his breakout film.
Yeah, it's like it was the first, but it's also been the standard that every other movie has been trying to reach.
It's still one of the most successful indie films of all time.
Yeah,
I think it ended up making like 70 million.
Yeah, it's just that there's release out of the entire series, every movie has been trying to reach the standard the first one set,
and it was made
and at no point has any other movie in the series.
I think
set a new standard,
and I think one has met that standard.
Yeah, one has met it, but no movie in the series has set a new standard.
No,
it's just. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the original, it's got the classic John Carpenter score, the simple piano. It's simple. It's not overdone. And I do like the new stuff he does in the later ones, some of it. But it's just that basic kind of creepy piano score. And it doesn't have that much blood in it or anything. It's not about the gore. It's more about who is this guy? He's hiding in the shadows and he's creeping about,
Yeah.
And Jamie Lee Curtis, her mom, Judy Greer, she was in Psycho. She was already a famous actress, but Jamie Lee Curtis made her way into acting herself.
I forgot that her mom was in Psycho. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's great in it. She plays the role perfectly as being just like a naive, innocent teenager of the time. And she actually was a teenager when they made that film. That's important to note. Now, the side characters are... they're typical slasher characters, but it established slashers.
Yeah.
There's been slasher movies before it, but this is
it's what made it a genre.
It made it a genre, exactly.
Yeah.
This mute, big killer with a white mask, emotionless. It established that whole idea. We want to have Jason. We want to have Ghostface. It started slashers as we know it. For better or for worse.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Donald Pleasance as Loomis.
He's really good.
He's good. He's not as crazy in this one. He gets a lot crazier in the next one. He's still pretty crazy for a psychiatrist. But I love him in it.
All psychiatrists are a little bit crazy.
Yeah. And the scene where he's chasing her down in the house and like the lighting, like it's one of my favorite films.
It didn't just establish. Honestly, it didn't just establish the level for all the other Halloween movies. It established the level for all their slasher movies to come afterwards to meet.
Yeah.
And some slasher movies have reached that. There's been others that are.
No, I can legitimately say that Halloween's one of my favorite films of all time.
Yeah.
In the top 100.
Definitely puts the Rhymes tier.
Yeah. So next we have. It's a sequel, Halloween 2, which came out in 1981. John Carpenter didn't want to make it, but he reluctantly wrote a script. Wasn't that happy about it. But Halloween 2 is one of the best ones, in my opinion.
Yeah, it turned out not so bad.
Dick Warlock. The previous actor was Nick Castle for Michael. Dick Warlock takes his place.
I do
He's
think
a stuntman, which contributes to some of the cool stuff of this movie.
I do think that although it's a pretty good movie, John Carpenter's reluctance does show a little bit.
It shows, and it does get into the. Well, Friday the 13th has come out at this point, so it kind of does that kind of thing. But I do love the score with the synthesizer. It's a creepy vibe, and like the fact that it's basically in a hospital the entire time. It has this like kind of sanitarium, like Outlast energy to it.
Yeah.
Like those games.
The setting is good.
And I like how he uses the scalpel and all the different like hospital tools as weapons.
Yeah.
It's got good, and it ups the ante on the kills. He kills like double that he did the last one. And he's still true to his character. It doesn't change. Well, it does change here. It does to change lore. It does establish that Lori is his sister.
Yeah.
And she was adopted after he killed his other sister. And but it doesn't do much with it.
No.
It just, the only thing that does with it is he's tracking her down, trying to kill her in the hospital. But
it gives us a reason for her to be a recurring character.
But I think Halloween 2, I think it's got a great tone. It's, if you want to just see kills, it's fun.
Yeah.
Donald Pleasance is back, and he's a lot crazier in this one. A kid gets hit by a kid wearing a Michael Myers or Bill Shatner mask, shall I say. He gets hit by a police car and it explodes in a burning fire because they think it might be Michael. And then they check his dental records, like, fuck, he wasn't Michael.
Yeah, we just killed a kid.
And that was, and that was actually Ben Tramer, the girl that the guy that Lori had a crush on.
Yeah.
They say later in the movie. But yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites. It doesn't reach the levels of the first one. It ups the kills, but it doesn't up the thrills. Because at this point, there's less mystery to it. And by saying that she's his sister, that eliminates even more mystery. But it's got great stunt work. You have the scene where he's burning alive. Because after they do the oxygen tank trick, he gets shot in the eyes. He's bleeding from the eyes, swiping. And it does establish that he's, like, pretty paranormal. But he walks out, he's burning alive, and he's in one of those flame retardant suits that stuntmen used in the time.
Yeah.
They don't really set guys on fire anymore in movies.
More often than you think.
Yeah?
Still, yeah.
Well, there you go.
It's you can't beat.
They don't have to now.
You can't beat real fire.
They can just CGI it now. Yeah. Back then, they didn't have the option. They had to set a man on fire. And it's great. And I love the kill, and I watched this one recently. That's what I remember a lot about. I remember the kill. He shoves a lady's face into the boiling water, and because it's like the sauna room or whatever, which is
I remember that.
Hospital. Yeah. He kills the pervert guy, and actually, there's like no like sex scenes in that movie.
No, he's just killing people.
He's killing just nurses and doctors.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good movie. I think it'd go a solid maybe A tier.
I would give it an A tier for sure.
Yeah. Not quite Busta Rhymes tier.
No. But here we go. So we're just whatever order right now. So we have Halloween 5. So this is a follow-up to Halloween 4, obviously. Yeah. And he's chasing his niece. Because it's still doing the family thing. Jamie Lee, and also in the previous movie, they established Lori just died in a car wreck. Because Jamie Lee Curtis didn't want to come back for these at the time.
It was just one of those, she died off screen.
Yeah, and that's just a stupid ending for that character.
I hate stuff like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
I hate when movies in between sequels do stuff off screen.
I know we've got words about The Last Jedi, and I actually think it's the best of the trilogy now.
Yeah, I do. I agree, yeah.
But imagine if Rian Johnson just wrote the script where Luke died off screen.
That would be ridiculous.
Rey shows up.
It would just riots in the streets, raining, cats and dogs getting along.
Rey shows up.
Absolute chaos.
She finds a note from Luke. Or no, she sees his ghost or something. He's like, yeah, I died.
Well, it's like not just character death. Sometimes movie franchises do just big things off screen in between movies.
Yeah.
One of my least favorite ones, even though it's one of my favorite movie franchises, is in Mad Max, the fucking apocalypse happens off screen in between movies.
Yeah, because in the first one he's just fighting cops.
No, he is a cop.
He is a cop. Yeah,
he's fighting a biker gang.
Fighting biker gang.
Now they do like establish this is like it's like almost the apocalypse.
It's like L.A.
No, it's Australia.
Oh, is it?
It all takes place. Mad Max all takes place in Australia.
Oh.
No, he's a cop and he's fighting a biker gang because there's like wars over resources and it's chaos. It's like the conditions before an apocalypse.
Sorry, I was thinking of Lethal Weapon.
Yeah,
by the way,
but
that's what.
But then the actual nuclear apocalypse happens off screen in between movies, and it drives me crazy.
Yeah, that's just a weird decision.
Just like.
Well, anyways, his niece, that's Danielle Harris, and she did great movies as a child actress, and she's
actually came back to be in Halloween movies.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she was good at it. I mean, I imagine that could be tough as a child actor to do a horror movie like that, but I know they probably have like safeguards or whatever. But I don't remember anything about it. That tells you.
I barely remember this movie, to be totally honest.
I mean, I haven't seen it in a long time, but I do remember, and I have the image already. Worst mask. The worst Michael Myers mask.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the reasons I don't go by to watch it. I know that's kind of a stupid reason to not watch a movie. It's a horrible design. Looks like a weird... Doesn't even look like he... I don't know. It just looks like a weird alien or something. I just hate it.
Yeah.
And they have the original mask on the poster, so they're lying to us.
I don't know how to describe the mask, but it's really bad.
But Halloween 5, I'm going to put in D tier. It doesn't hurt the lore too much. It's just continuing the family arc. But
they haven't gone too crazy yet.
It's still
with some of the lore, but
an easy to forget inconsequential movie.
Yeah, it's just very forgettable. It has a bad mask.
So the next one, because this is in a random order, I have Halloween 2018.
Oh, yeah.
When that movie came out, we were all worried it was going to kind of repeat the problems of the Rob Zombie reboot, or it was just going to be just a cash grab. But I think
it's one of the best in the series.
It continues the same formula as the original.
Yeah, I think it's one of the closest they've gotten.
Jamie Lee Curtis is great
the standard of the original.
I like that version of Laurie.
Yeah,
the kind of she's got PTSD. She's
kind of just like doomsday prepper.
Yeah, and like
type of lady. Grandma.
Yeah, I love it.
I like and yeah, I love the kills in it. I like the characters in it. I like the jokes in it. It's not
too over top. It still leaves his whatever powers he may have or not ambiguous. Yeah, it still leaves that mystery that the first one have. Yeah, it ups the ante on the kills, but I think it's a great continuation of that story. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Some podcasters get killed. Yeah.
D-tier.
But and then the ending scene where you have this 3 generations of Strode women take them down.
Yeah, it's a satisfying conclusion.
Grandma, mom, and daughter. I mean, it's pretty cool. And
well, it does something that's difficult.
But it's not like what's cool about that. That is a very, you would say, a feminist. Idea, but it doesn't shove it in your face.
No, it doesn't shove it in your face.
Because like the recent Halloween kills,
what it tries to do with the mob like hysteria thing, the hospital scene, it's way too on the nose. It's way too.
And one thing the 2018 movie does well is it gives you a satisfying ending.
But it still leaves it mysterious.
But leaves it open for a sequel. And often movies that leave you open for a sequel do not. It's hard to have a satisfying ending. And this one does both, and it's really well done. I think this is.
I would put it at Busta Rhymes.
I think this is a Busta Rhymes tier.
It doesn't reinvent the wheel.
No, but it does. It does the wheel.
Yeah,
it actually
keeps it rolling.
Keeps it rolling in a sufficiently.
It takes the original kind of idea premise of the first one. Yeah, ups the ante on the kills, but not in a unrealistic, goofy way.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I would put it at Busta Rhymes tier. Now we have Halloween 4. He also has a pretty dumb looking mask in this one. It's similar to the H2O one, but not. It's just cheap looking. It has like no definition, but it's not the worst one.
Yeah, I've got a picture pulled up here.
Yeah, you're right. It's similar in the sense of it just looks like a fucking.
But it's even more.
It just looks
than the original one.
It just looks like a party mask.
But it's not. It doesn't distract me.
No, it doesn't have as weird of a shape as Halloween 5's mask does.
It's almost too generic, but it doesn't stand out as bad.
Like Halloween 5's mask looks like he's like an elf.
Yeah, it's so weird.
And this one still has the right general head shape, at the least. The rest of it's not good.
It doesn't change the formula too much, but it doesn't do anything special.
Yeah.
Anyways, aside from the mask, so this one takes place 10 years later, 1988. That's actually when it came out, because they waited a while. And yeah, he's hunting down his niece, and it does cool stuff. Like, she starts seeing like images of him in the clown outfit, and like she wears the same clown outfit for trick-or-treating for Halloween. But it is the one that's like, oh yeah, Lori died in a car wreck. But I think the chase sequence, like in the school, is good. On the rooftops is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And like her foster sister taking care of her and stuff, and actually being a good sister. There's some stupid stuff with the cops. They literally have clown noise sound effects in the movie. But and also they changed the original Michael Myers house. So there's some bad things in it, but it's still good enough.
It doesn't.
And also this one does
insulting.
This one does introduce like a mob.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of rednecks with guns try hunting him down.
Yeah, it's not an insulting movie.
This one also has an action sequence.
Yeah.
He jumps on a car that's going at high speeds and like stabbing at the top while it's driving.
Yeah. I've seen that scene, I think.
Yeah. And then at the end he gets shot up. And it's got good kills in it. Like he shoves a shotgun through a guy because it doesn't use guns.
I've seen that. Yeah. I've seen that footage.
So it's honestly a fun ride. Like it doesn't. I'd watch it again on a marathon, or if it was on TV.
Like a B tier.
I would give it a B tier. I don't want to be too hard on this one because I enjoy it more than H2O.
Yeah.
Its sequel, Halloween 5, somehow manages to be even worse. And with these movies, you got to realize that at a certain point, they're just slasher movies.
Yeah, they are.
Okay ones. And sometimes not.
You don't have to think they're amazing movies.
I mean, they never go like. What I
think...
appreciate about the Halloween franchise, though, they never took it too far, like with Jason.
Yeah.
Like with Jason X.
I generally think sometimes critics are a little bit too hard on movies like Halloween.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, this isn't like an Oscar-worthy movie.
It's
a slasher flick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next one I got is Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers. That's Halloween 6.
I've never seen this one.
This one it's got some good things. It's got some bad things, but Paul Rudd is in it. It's his first major motion picture.
Oh.
I believe so.
That
yeah,
gives
it was
us
his first
bonus
movie.
Points right off that.
Paul Rudd fights Michael and wins.
What?
Yeah.
Paul Rudd wins in a fight against Michael?
Yeah, he like ends up injecting him with toxins or some kind of drug.
Exactly the same.
Yeah, he looks the same.
Yeah.
They actually thought about bringing Paul Rudd to play that character because in this movie, Paul Rudd was the kid in the original one growing up.
Oh.
And they thought about bringing him back, but there were scheduling issues.
Yeah.
And also, they thought he looked too young. So they got the other guy. But
the actor who played it in the original movie hasn't aged enough to be in.
Well, Paul Rudd wasn't in the original. He wasn't the kid.
Oh,
but
yeah,
he played that
the
character.
actor who plays that character.
Yeah.
Hasn't aged enough.
Yeah.
Since then.
But it introduces, and by the way, I forgot to mention Donald Pleasance is in all of these, besides H2O.
Yeah.
But he gets just crazier and crazier. There's, I forget which movie, but there's a scene where he's riding in the truck with this weird religious truck driver, and like he's just really uncomfortable. And it's actually a funny scene.
He just gets like.
And by the way, Donald
Pleasance.
Pleasance, he was the first Bond villain. Dr. No, right?
Blofeld.
Or Blofeld, yeah.
Blofeld, yeah. So not the first, no.
No. But he was that bald guy that Dr. Evil's based off.
Yeah, Blofeld.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know my Bond so well.
Yeah, Blofeld, he has the scar and that's the
Yeah. And that's Dr. Evil. But yeah, Curse of Michael Myers, I mean, yeah, it introduces the Cult of Thorn, where basically the whole idea is that he's possessed by this ancient Celtic demon or whatever spirit, and that he has to kill his whole family line.
Yeah.
And it does some stupid things, but it's got Paul Rudd in it. It does some fun things. I can't remember it too well, but I don't remember it being horrible. It does change the lore a lot. Just because Paul Rudd's in it, I'm gonna give it a B. Honestly,
Yeah, I think
can't.
so. I can't diss our guy Paul Rudd like that.
Give him less than a B.
Like when you're watching a movie, you're like, man, I could see this guy being an actor.
Yeah, and you're.
I think he was in Friends before that.
Yeah.
I forgot when he showed up in Friends. It was in the later seasons, but I don't like that show. It's a bad show.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Friends.
Not sorry.
Friends is bad. We're not sorry. If you like Friends, you're wrong.
So next I've got Halloween Kills.
Halloween Kills.
I would,
Like we said, this is a good movie.
at the start, I mean, first instinct is to put it right with Halloween 2. It's the same kind of.
Yeah.
It's a very similar sequel. It ups the ante on the kills. It does Michael right, but the other supporting characters aren't that good.
It's not S tier. It's not
S tier. It doesn't have, and it's obvious. And I don't have a problem with him having like supernatural powers, but I always like that it's vague, that you don't know, that maybe he's just really tough. Maybe he has a bulletproof vest, but this one he legit has powers.
Yeah.
And they do that in the rest of the other ones we're talking about. He obviously does. And that's why they're not as good. They're cheesier. They're hokier. But this one, like we've already talked about it. I would, put it at A tier, right with Halloween 2.
I agree with that. Definitely A tier.
Yeah. So now, actually, I'm going to save this one. I'm going to save this one for last, okay? I think you know.
Yeah, I think I do know.
Let's get the Rob Zombie ones. Let's talk about these.
Okay.
I'm going to change the order a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the first Rob Zombie reboot. 2007, Halloween. Wow. It changes a lot. And it's definitely a Rob Zombie movie. If you cannot stand Rob Zombie movies, you will not stand this one, because it is full Rob Zombie.
It's as Rob Zombie as you can get in a movie.
Maybe his Halloween 2 is more, but this one also is. It's got tons of profanity, nudity, cursing. So this movie introduces the idea of Michael being raised in this shitty white trash family, and he had mental problems as a kid, and he just kind of blew up, and he's straight up a psychopath from the start.
Yeah.
Like, he's already killing rats and cats.
It does the thing that Rob Zombie does in all the horror movies he makes.
It over-explains the backstory.
It over-explains it. It takes away the mystery.
Yeah. We don't need to know about...
There's things I like in it, though.
Yeah.
Well, it is... Some people may not like it. So Michael Myers himself, Tyler Mane, when he's grown up, he's a giant of a man. Hulking man. He's very physically imposing, scary. He's definitely one of the scariest Michaels. No doubt about it. I mean, this guy would be able to chuck you across the room and then some, But part of me is like, Michael's supposed to be more like a normal... He could be anybody.
Yeah.
When I see this giant man in a dirty jumpsuit and a white mask, and I like the mask in this one. It's aged. It's got some like cracks in it.
Yeah, I do generally like.
It's a good mask.
Designs that
it's a good mask. Yeah, he has good vision.
Yeah.
I mean, I admire his some of his cinematography and just his general vision for his movies.
Yeah.
But I'm just not really into his movies. I feel like, and I think Rob Zombie's a cool guy. From what I've seen in interviews, he's not like weird outside of it. Like, he's just like a guy trying to make movies how he likes them.
Yeah.
And he likes horror stuff, and he's in White Zombie.
And his wife's in all his movies, and his wife is the stripper in this movie, and you see a lot of his naked wife in this movie, which is kind of weird. It's like, yeah, look at my hot wife, everybody.
Yeah.
Sherry Moon Zombie. But yeah, the beginning scene is
really uncomfortable to watch with the arguing and everything. And there's someone I knew that said, "Oh, I hate the Halloween movies," and I was like, "Well, which one did you see?" And they were like, "I don't know, the one where it showed him as a kid." Where he was a little kid with the blonde hair, and I'm like, yeah, that's the Rob Zombie one.
Yeah.
I see why.
You're
but
not wrong.
I don't hate this movie. I
don't think it's that bad.
But
I don't like it.
It is Rob Zombie. I mean, it is over the top with the kills, but it has good kills. I love the kills in it. I mean, it's a cool slasher movie. He's brutal. He kills all those people in the hospital. Danny Trejo's in it.
Uh-huh.
He was the guard that thought Michael liked him and stuff. And it does do some cool things. Like you see him making masks, paper mache masks and stuff. But his first kill isn't his sister in this one.
Yeah.
He kills a bully. He beats him to death outside of school. And like I said, I forget which episode I was talking about this in. If some 6-year-old kid tried to beat me with a stick, I would ruin him. Okay, I just want to get that away. I do not believe that. And also, seeing him run around and cry and scream and say, fuck you, and just be the stupid brat, that ruins the character.
It takes
but
away the mystery.
When it's Tyler made, when it goes into the future, when you see him, and I dig the orange mask, paper mache ones he's in with long hair. He looks really creepy.
Uh-huh.
He's dirty and nasty.
Yeah.
He's not clean cut like the original Michael.
Yeah.
This is a grungy, brutal Michael. And I love the scene where he kills the guy. I forget his name, but you'll know him when you see him. But he kills the guy at the gas station or whatever in the bathroom, and he's slamming him in the stall.
Oh,
They did that.
Yeah.
They actually broke a bathroom stall.
That's awesome.
The stunts in this movie were great. And the new Laurie, she's okay. I have nothing against the actress, but
I think it's
she is a little too. She's not naive or innocent enough.
I just think this.
Every guy has long hair in Rob Zombie movies.
Yeah.
That's just weird.
I just generally think that this movie is Rob Zombie tried really hard. But I don't love it.
It's Rob Zombie's vision for Halloween.
Yeah.
I like things about it, and I hate things about it, but and people are probably going to be pissed off if anyone cares about this. I wouldn't quite put it at A tier.
No, I think it's a B tier.
It's got great kills. I love Tyler Mane as Michael for the most part. It's a little over top, but it's also a reboot of the first one, straight up.
Yeah.
Besides, the prequel scenes, once it zooms into the future after he gets out of the hospital, it's the original, but just nastier and more vulgar.
I do notice that there are some people who are hardcore Rob fans that will hate on us for saying that.
And I'm not a prude. I don't get uncomfortable when people are cussing or when I see nudity. I'm an adult. Yeah. But I just think it's just too much. It's just hey, what if I want to watch this horror movie with my, nephew or something? I wouldn't be able to watch this with him at any age. I'd feel so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But if you're into Rob Zombie movies, it's probably going to be your favorite Halloween movie.
Yeah.
I'll tell. Here's my last reason.
I'm not that into Rob Zombie movies.
I'm putting it at B tier.
Yeah.
And here's my main reason. Aside from Rob Zombie's directing and filmmaking style, it destroys the mystery of Michael.
It does, yeah.
It explains it that
and that's family, my favorite part about the character of Michael.
He already had mental problems.
He's mysterious. You don't know much about him.
Yeah. I'm gonna put it at B.
Yeah, B tier.
But if you're into that kind of stuff, I definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
And I'll watch it again. It's. Now we have Halloween 2 by Rob Zombie.
Okay.
This is the one that utterly pisses me off. So you think I said I don't think. Okay, I'm gonna go back. Rob Zombie's Halloween doesn't destroy Michael; it just neuters him. His mystery.
Yeah.
It takes away the mystery. It takes away the mystery. Okay, but he's great when he gets the mask on and he's Michael and Myers about, creeping about. But Halloween 2, and I mean, I do give respect to Rob Zombie. He was like, okay, now I can make my Halloween.
Yeah.
This one, I tried to put my stuff in, but it's still a reboot. This one is mine. And it has the beginnings. It seems like it's going to be like the original Halloween 2 with the hospital scene. He kills all the doctors and nurses and chases Laurie. But that's all a dream or something. And, anyways, I don't want to talk too much about this movie because I don't like it. And I don't want to waste time on it. Here's the really, really bad things. Michael isn't wearing a mask most of the time. And if he is, it's like half ripped off.
Yeah.
Also, Michael isn't wearing his classic jumpsuit. He's like a hobo.
He's just.
You know what I'm talking about. You've seen this one, right?
He's just a scary homeless man.
Yeah. Also, and yeah, I know, and I forgot to mention Danielle Harris. She came back for the Rob Zombie Halloween movie. She plays one of the Laurie's friends.
Yeah.
And she gets brutalized in it, but she survives. She's in this one again. And she's got like all the scars. And I mean, there's stuff like about like dealing with the aftermath and trauma like a year later. I mean, okay, cool.
Yeah.
No, it's bad though. It's really bad. It destroys Michael Myers. He's just a homeless guy. Doesn't wear the mask that much. He doesn't have his classic outfit. Yeah, it's got brutal kills and stuff, so I guess that's good about it. But everything else is just trash. Also, he has these visions of his mother speaking to him, and she's like riding a white horse, and it's like all gothic and weird.
Yeah, he did some weird.
He even changes the lore even more in this one. No. Michael's mother isn't telling him to kill people. That's Jason. Okay, Rob Zombie, maybe make a Jason movie. I would love to see that, honestly. But that's not Michael's thing. It never has been. It doesn't work with him. Takes away the mystery. It makes it cheesy and hokey and dumb. And also, I forgot to mention the actor that plays Loomis in these movies. He's fine, but in this one, he's just really bad because he's like trying to make a profit off of the killings and everything, and like write a book about it. And yeah, he's a relatively not famous, but he's been in stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I do know him.
Yeah,
He's a good actor.
Yeah, he's good, but I don't really like his Loomis.
Yeah.
But anyways, Michael, for crying out loud, and I don't know if it's in the theatrical version or an uncut version, but he speaks. He speaks, and not when he's a kid. When he is Michael Myersing about, when he fights Loomis, he's like, die! And it's so stupid. It's so cringy.
Yeah.
When I saw that movie, I was like...
It's practically not Michael Myers.
At that point, I was like, they can't do another one of these.
Yeah.
But, and they waited a while till they did.
Yeah.
It isn't it's not a Halloween movie in my eyes. It's a movie Rob Zombie made with Michael Myers in it. But it's not a Halloween movie to me.
Yeah,
and that's why I have...
It's pretty much not a Halloween movie. It's hardly Michael Myers
as a character.
I mean, I have one caveat. The dream sequence or nightmare sequence in the hospital where he's doing the Halloween 2 thing, he's in the original get-up, original mask. If it was like that the whole time, even with all its other problems and Rob Zombie-ness, I would put it way higher. If it just kept his character.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It destroys the character. And while I respect Rob Zombie for trying to do his own thing, he failed. He failed at doing Michael Myers right, doing him justice. So I'm putting this movie all the way down to F tier, or I have called it Y.
Why?
Just why? Yeah.
Why, Rob? Why did you do it?
You know, one of my favorite Rob Zombie, I don't like a lot of his movies, because it's just not my thing. But I do like House of a Thousand Corpses. It's very Rob Zombie, but it's before like he got in over his head. I think
Never seen that one.
Dwight's in it.
Oh, cool.
Rainn Wilson.
Yeah.
I think he gets killed. I can't remember. But yeah. Halloween 2, the remake is
The 2009 Halloween 2.
Why?
Yeah.
Now we have one that doesn't have Michael Myers in it at all. It's not about Michael Myers at all. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. So at this point in the franchise, and I believe this came out in 83, John Carpenter, he was actually, this was the last one he was worked on before the recent reboot. Or the reboot cool, or whatever we call it. They had the idea, let's do an anthology series that just takes place on Halloween, the holiday.
Yeah.
Let's just do these Halloween stories. And Halloween 3, and what's cool though, they brought the season of the witch mask back in Halloween Kills.
Oh yeah.
That's the witch, the skull, and the pumpkin one.
Oh.
That's from Season of the Witch.
Oh, I see.
I haven't seen this movie in a while. I never wanted to watch it for a long time because I was like, oh, Michael's not in it.
Yeah.
But it's actually, it's a kind of a cult classic now. A lot of people get behind it. The whole idea is about this like mask company, Silver Shamrock. And it has something to do with Stonehenge and like Celtic rituals. But they make these masks where these kids, if they watch the commercial wearing these masks, it will like kill them. And like sacrifice them.
Interesting.
And there's androids in the movie. Like this guy fights androids and like they have green blood. And at the time, people are like, oh, maybe Michael Myers is an android made by this company.
Yeah.
It's really weird, but I recommend at least one watch. It's actually a fun time. If you just, forget that it's a movie in this franchise with this, big character Michael that doesn't have Michael in it, it has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
If you forget that, and if you were like, I just want to watch a fun Halloween movie,
just not a movie
for the holiday, for spooky season, it's actually a fun time. I'm gonna go ahead and put it at C tier because it's still it's still not that good of a movie, but it is fun, wacky, and weird. But it doesn't have Michael. But I appreciate that they had a go at it, but it did horribly in the box office, and they're like, okay, we gotta bring Michael back. And even though the subsequent films were objectively bad, they did make a lot of money on them.
Oh yeah.
For cheap shoestring budgets.
Yeah, you don't need a lot of money to make a decent slasher movie.
So the last one I have here.
Oh yeah, I'm waiting for this.
Halloween Resurrection.
Definitely Busta Rhymes chair.
I mean, he's in it.
There's one reason.
Is that why?
It's the one reason why. It's because Busta Rhymes
fights Michael Myers and uses karate on him and wins. Well, he doesn't win from the karate. He wins from electrocuting him.
Well, he does karate on him and then he electrocutes him.
Yeah.
Okay, so
because the karate doesn't work on him at all.
No,
he does karate, then Michael throws him across.
Also,
the room.
this one has a bad Michael mask. It has big eyebrows. And
it's
got like a lot of shading on it.
It's overall not a good movie.
No, it's a really bad movie actually.
But it's got Busta Rhymes fighting Michael Myers, and he jumps in the room and says, "Hey, Michael, trick or treat, motherfucker."
You know what? I would love to post this tier list with no explanation.
Yeah.
And have this at that tier.
Yeah. See how many people get
You
why.
have to listen to this episode to understand the joke.
Yeah, you'll be like, why the fuck did they put that?
In all seriousness, I wouldn't put it down at why.
No.
Because it's still Michael Myers. It's still true to his character.
I would put it maybe at C tier realistically.
Just because of the fun aspect?
It's fun. It's not that dumb. Bad. It's
a fun, dumb romp.
Yeah.
And the whole premise of this is this like documentary crew sets up a bunch of cameras at Michael's house for people to stay at.
Yeah.
And
it's a weird premise.
And he shows up, he kills them.
Yeah.
But then Busta Rhymes fight him and gets by away.
Yeah.
That is.
There's only a couple characters that have bested Michael. Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis, Paul Rudd, and Busta Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes.
Yeah. And I guess Loomis, but it's more of a like, Michael, stop, and then he stops, and then he shoots him, but then he gets up again. But it's a ridiculous movie. I remember when I watched it with you and Caleb, and we were drinking wine, or
it is one of those movies where when you're watching it the entire time, you're like, what the fuck is going on? It is goofy.
And for that reason, I wouldn't put it a D tier.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even put it at Y.
It's kind of fun.
My thing is with movies, even if a movie is objectively bad, a bad film, horrible script, if it does end up being either unintentionally funny or just so bad that it's good,
you could have movies that
those movies
bad, but you are still entertaining, and we all have.
There's something to that.
We all have movies that each one of us recognizes is bad, but we still
like
love.
The most famous one, The Room.
The Room,
worst thing ever put.
Yeah. I talk about it here and there, but
people watch it all the time.
One of my favorite movies that I recognize as bad is Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman. It's a bad movie, but it
is fun though.
I like it.
You have fun. You can get drunk with your friends and have a goof and a gaff.
That is I've got a whole bottle of wine to myself. I'm gonna watch Van Helsing.
Halloween 5 is just bad. Halloween 2, Rob Zombie, makes me visibly angry.
Yeah.
Halloween Resurrection,
it's bad, but I can't be angry at it.
No.
I just for some reason, I have to be like, okay, I can get behind it at least a little bit.
So, are we going to put it at Busta Rhymes? Are we going to put it at C?
Well, because of how
Busta Rhymes is in it.
It's because, well...
Do we need to adjust this tier list? Have its own tier just for this movie?
Realistically, I would put it at C, but because of how we labeled the tier list, we have to put it at Busta Rhymes tier. I think there's no getting around
that. With the original.
Yeah, we have to put it there, and we'll post that and give no explanation for people. And all the Halloween fans are going to be like, what the fuck?
There we go. Well, you got to listen to the episode all the way to the end, basically, for us to explain this. And if you have, let us know. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever they can do reviews.
Yeah.
I don't know. Follow us on Spotify or whatever the podcast requires you to subscribe to us. Do that thing.
Yeah.
Because we're on a lot of platforms now.
And then you should go to the Halloween store. You should buy a Michael Myers mask.
You should.
And then you should put it on, and you should chase your friends. And then when you catch them,
but you can only walk though.
Yeah, and when you finally catch them and they're all terrified, instead of killing them like a Michael Myers would, you should take off the mask and go listen to the Odd Drunk podcast.
Yes.
and Linktree in the description.
Yeah, and go join us on Instagram. That's where we're going to post this tier list, and we'll repost everything related to an episode, tiers or whatever. And do all those things. Get mad at us, whatever. I don't care. Anyways, there you go. I'm sure we have something great for you guys next week. Yeah. We got some ideas. We're not just going in blind.
We're definitely not making up.
But next week is the final week of Spooktober, so it will be a special one.
And we got some cool stuff planned for November, but no spoilers.
Yes, no spoilers.
Yeah. So you'll just have to keep listening. You keep listening to all of our episodes to find out what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had something else to say, but you know what? I don't feel like trying to think of it. So, let's go ahead and roll that outro. You guys have a good time.
All right.
Have a good night.
This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. The Odd Drunk Podcast recommends that you follow their Instagram and join their Facebook group for more fun content. To view all of our current available streaming and social media platforms, visit our Linktree in the description below. If you enjoy the show, it would be appreciated if you leave us a rating or a review on Apple Podcasts. Okay, Colton, you can roll the outro now.